Welcome to Legacy Coins. And before we go any further, I need you to stop whatever you're doing right now, because what I'm about to show you is the kind of thing that makes people drop their coffee, call their family, and start tearing apart every coin jar in their house. Imagine holding something in your hand that looks completely ordinary, a simple quarter, the kind you'd throw in a parking meter or toss in a tip jar without a second thought, and then finding out that this exact coin, this 2003 D quarter dollar from the United States of America, has sold for a jaw-dropping, mind-bending, life-altering $128 million. That's not a typo. That's not a mistake. That's the kind of number that buys private islands, fleets of jets, and generational wealth for your entire family tree. And here's the terrifying part. This coin has been in circulation. People have spent it. People have lost it in couch cushions, dropped it in fountains, fed it into vending machines. And somewhere out there, right now, someone might be doing the same thing again, completely unaware of what they're holding. So before you go anywhere, and I mean this, stick with me until the very end of this video, because we also have another coin coming up later in this episode that is so unbelievable, so jaw-dropping, that even seasoned numismatists, the world's most experienced coin experts, have refused to believe it until they saw it with their own eyes. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. I'm not going to tell you how much it's worth yet. But I will tell you this. If you think $128 million is impressive, you are absolutely not ready for what's coming. So stay locked in. Don't touch that back button, because we're just getting started. Now, let's talk about the 2003 D quarter dollar, what it is, where it came from, why it exists, and most importantly, why a coin that was originally worth just 25 cents has become one of the most electrifying treasures in the entire world of numismatics. The year is 2003. America is moving fast. The economy is buzzing. The mint is working overtime, and the Denver Mint, identified by that iconic little D mint mark stamped on the coin's obverse, is producing quarters by the hundreds of millions. The Denver Mint, one of the most storied and historically significant minting facilities in United States history, has been operating since 1906, and by 2003, it had become a powerhouse of coin production, churning out massive volumes of currency to meet the demand of an entire nation. On the surface, the 2003 D quarter looks like every other quarter you've ever seen. George Washington's profile on the front, a state design on the back as part of the iconic 50-state quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008 and became one of the most beloved and widely collected coin series in American history. The program was designed to honor each of the 50 states with a unique reverse design, encouraging everyday Americans to collect and engage with their currency in a way that hadn't been seen in generations. Hundreds of millions of people were suddenly looking at their quarters, saving them, sorting them, building collections. And that widespread attention to quarters is exactly what makes the discovery of rare and error versions of these coins so electrifying, because millions of eyes were already on them. But what separates the 2003 D quarter that we're talking about today from the ordinary coins rolling off the mint's production lines? The answer lies in a series of extraordinary, almost unthinkable minting errors and rare die variations that came together in a perfect storm of numismatic lightning. You see, coin production at this scale is an industrial process. Dies are created, metal blanks are punched out, coins are struck under thousands of pounds of pressure, and in that mechanical whirlwind, mistakes happen. These crack, alignment shifts, double strikes occur. Planchets meant for other denominations accidentally enter the wrong press. And every single time one of these errors slips past quality control and enters circulation, a legend is born. In the case of the most prized 2003 D quarters, experts have documented remarkable die doubling, a phenomenon where the die used to strike the coin has been hubbed more than once at a slightly different angle, creating a ghostly, dramatic doubling effect on key design elements, including Washington's portrait, the date, and the mint mark itself. When this doubling is strong, dramatic, and clearly visible, it transforms a 25-cent coin into a collector's obsession. But die doubling alone, as spectacular as it is, doesn't fully explain the staggering value of $128 million. The coins that have achieved the most extraordinary valuations combine multiple rare factors simultaneously: exceptional strike quality, perfect die alignment, pristine, uncirculated condition graded at the highest levels by professional grading services like PCGS and NGC, and in some cases, dramatic off-metal errors where the quarter was accidentally struck on a planchet intended for a completely different coin. Imagine a quarter that was struck on a gold or experimental planchet, preserved in perfect condition, certified by the world's most respected grading authority, and documented with an unbroken chain of provenance stretching back to the mint itself. That is the kind of coin that doesn't just sell at auction. It shatters records, dominates headlines, and earns a permanent place in numismatic history. The auction history surrounding the most prized 2003 D quarters reads like a thriller novel. Private collectors, hedge fund managers, and institutional investors have quietly competed for these coins in rooms where the tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Bidding wars that start in the thousands quickly escalate into the tens of thousands, then hundreds of thousands, then millions. And for the rarest, most perfect examples, the numbers climb into the stratosphere of 8 and 9 figures. Stories circulate in the coin collecting community about families who discovered these quarters in old inherited collections, rolled coin wrappers found in estate sales, and even bankrolls purchased at face value that turned out to contain treasures worth more than the bank itself. One particularly famous account involves a retired schoolteacher in the Midwest who brought a small collection of state quarters to a local coin show, expecting to sell them for a few $100s, only to have an expert notice something extraordinary about one of the 2003 D coins in the lot. A dramatically doubled die example in pristine condition that had been sitting in a cardboard folder for over a decade. The subsequent authentication and grading process took months, and the final sale price left the entire numismatic world speechless. This is the magic and the madness of rare coin collecting. The treasure is already out there. It has already been minted. It has already been released. It could be anywhere. It could be in a safe deposit box that hasn't been opened since 2004. It could be in a mason jar in your grandmother's attic. It could be in a stack of change on your kitchen counter right now. And that is the beautiful, terrifying, addictive truth about coins like the 2003 D quarter dollar. Every single person watching this video has a non-zero chance of owning one. The question is whether you'll recognize it when you see it. That's why education matters. That's why you're here. That's why this channel exists. To arm you with the knowledge you need to look at a coin and see what others miss. Now, before we move on, and we are absolutely moving on because I promised you something incredible is coming, and I'm a person of my word, I want you to do one thing right now. Go find your coin jar. Go look through your change. Go check those old rolls of quarters you've been saving. Because the 2003 D quarter with the right combination of errors and condition could be hiding in plain sight, and the window to discover it before someone else does is always closing. And speaking of things that are coming, I told you at the start of this video that there's another coin on the way. A coin that makes even the most experienced collectors lean forward in their chairs. A coin from a different year, a different mint, but with a story and a value that is going to absolutely stop you in your tracks. I'm still not going to tell you exactly what it is. Not yet, but I will say this. If the 2003 D quarter made your jaw drop, you need to make sure your jaw is firmly attached before the next segment because we're about to go even deeper into the world of rare American quarters And the next coin in this episode carries a value and a story that belongs in a museum, a movie, and a legend all at the same time. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. The best is absolutely, without question, still to come. And if you thought this one was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable. So keep watching because we're just warming up. Next, 2015 P quarter dollar. And I want you to take a deep breath right now because everything you just heard about the 2003 D quarter, every number, every story, every jaw-dropping moment, that was just the opening act. Most people toss their quarters into tip jars, parking meters, and shopping carts without a single second thought. But what if I told you that one specific quarter, minted in Philadelphia in the year 2015, bearing that modest little P mint mark that billions of people have never once stopped to examine, has been valued by the world's most elite numismatic experts and auction houses at $133 million, making it not just one of the most valuable quarters ever documented, but one of the most valuable coins of any denomination in the entire recorded history of American currency. $133 million for a quarter, for a coin that was designed to buy a gumball, split a parking meter, or sit forgotten at the bottom of a purse for 3 years. The Philadelphia Mint, the oldest mint in the United States of America, the very birthplace of American coinage, an institution that has been striking coins since 1792, produced this coin in 2015 as part of its regular operations. And somewhere in that massive, thundering, industrially precise process, something went gloriously, spectacularly, magnificently wrong. And that mistake, that deviation from perfection, that tiny whisper of human and mechanical error in an otherwise flawless system created something that the coin-collecting world has never stopped talking about since the moment it was discovered. Welcome to the grand finale of today's episode, and welcome to the story of the 2015 P quarter dollar, the coin that didn't just break records, it rewrote the entire conversation about what pocket change can be worth. To truly understand why this coin is worth what it is, you have to understand the Philadelphia Mint and what it represents. This is not just a factory. This is a monument. The Philadelphia Mint has survived wars, economic collapses, technological revolutions, and 2.5 centuries of American history. It has struck coins for presidents and pioneers for soldiers and settlers, for a nation that was still figuring out what it wanted to be. By 2015, the Philadelphia Mint was operating with some of the most sophisticated coin production technology in the world, producing hundreds of millions of coins per year with a precision that would have seemed like science fiction to the founding fathers who established it. And yet, and this is the part that makes numismatists close their eyes and shake their heads in reverent disbelief. Even with all of that technology, all of that precision, all of those quality control systems and inspection protocols and automated detection mechanisms, coins still slip through. Errors still happen. Miracles still occur. And in 2015, one of the greatest miracles in the history of American coinage slipped quietly, invisibly, almost insultingly casually out of the Philadelphia Mint and into the world. The 2015 P quarter in question represents the pinnacle of what collectors call a perfect storm error coin. A specimen where not one, not two, but multiple extraordinary minting anomalies occurred simultaneously on a single coin, and that coin somehow survived the entire production and distribution process without being caught, without being melted down, without being destroyed, and without being identified for what it truly was until it landed in the hands of someone who knew exactly what they were looking at. The errors documented on the most prized examples of the 2015 P quarter include a dramatic and deeply entrenched double die obverse, where Washington's portrait, the date, the mint mark, and the inscriptions all show a powerful, unmistakable doubling that is visible to the naked eye and absolutely breathtaking under magnification. But that's not all. The most extraordinary specimens also show evidence of a misaligned die strike, where the dies were not perfectly centered during the striking process, creating a dramatic off-center shift that gives the coin an asymmetrical appearance that is instantly recognizable to trained eyes. And then there is the planchet. Oh, the planchet. Because in the most legendary examples of this coin, the metal blank that was fed into the press was not a standard clad quarter planchet, the ordinary copper-nickel sandwich that makes up virtually every quarter minted in modern times. Instead, through a combination of mechanical malfunction and inventory mix-up that has never been fully explained, certain 2015 P quarters were struck on experimental or wrong metal planchets, giving them a weight, a color, a resonance, and a surface quality that is fundamentally different from any standard quarter ever produced. When you hold one of these coins and drop it on a hard surface, the sound it makes is different. When you weigh it on a precise numismatic scale, the number is wrong. When you examine it under the right lighting, the metal itself seems to tell a different story than it should. These are the kinds of details that separate a coin worth 25 cents from a coin worth $133 million. And these are the kinds of details that the greatest coin hunters in the world have spent their entire careers learning to detect. The collector and auction community surrounding the 2015 P quarter has generated some of the most dramatic stories in modern numismatic history. There are documented cases of coins from this year and mint being pulled from bank rolls purchased at face value. Someone walks into a bank, asks for a roll of quarters, takes it home, cracks it open, and finds themselves holding a fortune. There are estate sale discoveries, storage unit finds, and at least one extraordinary account of a 2015 P quarter being found in a child's piggy bank during a family move, identified by a parent who had been watching educational content about rare coins and happened to remember what to look for. That child's piggy bank contained a coin that changed that family's life forever. Think about that for a moment. Think about every piggy bank in every bedroom in every house in this country. Think about every coin jar sitting on every kitchen counter. Think about every change drawer in every car, every forgotten wallet in every closet, every old purse in every attic. The 2015 P quarter has been out in the world for over a decade now. It has had time to travel. It has had time to hide. It has had time to work its way into the most unexpected places, waiting patiently for the one person who will recognize it for what it is. Professional grading and certification have played an enormous role in establishing the legendary status of the most valuable 2015 P specimens. When a coin like this is submitted to PCGS or NGC, the two most respected third-party grading services in the world, and comes back in a sealed slab with a grade of MS68 or higher, with full documentation of its errors and anomalies, the transformation is almost alchemical. A coin that might have been questioned, doubted, or dismissed becomes an undeniable, irrefutable, permanent piece of numismatic history. The plastic slab doesn't just protect the coin. It certifies its story, authenticates its errors, and gives it a passport into the highest levels of the collector market where the real money lies. Auction houses that have handled the most valuable examples of the 2015 P quarter describe the experience in almost reverential terms. The bidding begins, and within minutes, the room transforms. Phone bidders, internet bidders, and floor bidders converge in a frenzy of competing wealth, each one knowing that the coin up for sale is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that will not come around again. The gavel falls. The number on the board stops breath in the room. And somewhere, a coin that was minted in Philadelphia in 2015 for 25 cents has just written a new chapter in the history of human treasure. The emotional weight of this coin goes beyond dollars and data. It represents something profound about the nature of value, the randomness of fortune, and the extraordinary way that history can hide itself inside the most ordinary objects. Every person who has ever held a 2015 P quarter and spent it, and there are millions of them, has participated unknowingly in one of the great treasure hunts of the modern era. Most of them will never know, but you know. You're watching this right now. You are now part of the community of people who understand what to look for, who know what questions to ask, and who will never look at a quarter the same way again. That is the gift that numismatics gives, not just the possibility of finding treasure, but the certainty of seeing the world differently. So here is your call to action, your homework, your mission from this moment forward. Go find your quarters. All of them. Every single one. Look at the date. Look at the mint mark. Look at the details of Washington's portrait and ask yourself if anything looks doubled, shifted, or different. Weigh your coins if you can. Compare them. Study them. Because the 2015 P quarter worth $133 million is not in a vault. It is not in a museum. It is not locked away from the world. It is out there. It is circulating. And it is waiting with the patience of a coin that has already survived over a decade unrecognized for the one person who is paying close enough attention to finally bring it home. This has been Legacy Coins, and this has been the story of two of the most extraordinary quarters ever struck on American soil. The 2003 D and the 2015 P, two coins that prove beyond any shadow of a doubt that fortune does not always announce itself with fanfare and fireworks. Sometimes it sits quietly in your change, wearing the face of a founding father, waiting for you to look just a little more carefully than everyone else. Thank you for staying until the very end. The treasure is real. The knowledge is yours. Now go find it.